We have just seen what is continuous integration is. So now let's look at continuous delivery practices. So continuous delivery. So once continuous integration has been successfully completed, the next step is to deploy the application automatically in one or more non production environments, which is called staging. This process is called continuous delivery. CD often starts with an application package prepared by continuous integration, which will be installed according to a list of automated tasks. These tasks can be of any type: unzip, stop and restart, service, copy files, replace configuration, and so on, so forth. The execution of functional and acceptance tests can also be performed during CD process, that is continuous integration process. Unlike CI, CD aims to test the entire application with all of its dependencies. So this is very visible in microservices applications composed of several services and APIs. So CI will only test the microservice under development, while once deployed in a staging environment, it will be possible to test and validate entire application as well as the APIs and microservices that is composed of. So in practice today it's very common to link CI with the CD, that is continuous delivery, that's still staging. So in an integration environment, so that is CI, that is so CI deploys at the same time in an environment. It's indeed necessary so that developers can have at each commit not only the execution of unit tests but also a verification of the application as a whole with the integration of the developments of the other team members. So now let's look into the implementation of CI, the implementation simulation of CD. Okay, the continuous delivery pipeline implementation. Of course, CI is also integrated into CD. Without CI, you cannot go to CD. So that's the reason I said CI and CD together. So continuous delivery. So it's very important that package generated during CI and that will be deployed during CD is the same one that will be installed on all environment. So this should be the case until production. However, there may be configuration file transformations that differ depending on the environment, but the application code binaries DLL and JAR, that's jar related to Java, DLL related to Windows execution files, it's Windows files and binaries, so must remain unchanged. So this immutable, unchangeable character of the code is the only guarantee that the application verified in an environment will be of same quality as the version deployed in the previous environment, and the same one that will be deployed in the next environment. If changes are to be made to the code following verification in one of the environments, once done, the modification will have to go through the CI and CD cycle again. So let's, before we discuss the flow of the continuous delivery pipeline, let's look into continuous integration first. As usual, the developers have committed their codes, they have pushed their codes to the our source code, of course, as a source code manager or through the SCM. They have pushed to the GitHub, a source code a repository. Okay, from there, a CI server, a Jenkins server came into the action, and it took that binary, it took that source code, and it has built the application. Then it has done some tests, unit tests, and this kind of source code tests basically. After that, it has been packaged into an archive. We call it as an artifact. So your artifact or an archive is ready. So now it's time to enter into the continuous delivery. So the tools the tools set up for CI or CD, the continuous delivery, are often completed with other solutions. Which the most important tool, one of the tool is a package manager. A package manager. So here it is. Package manager. So this constitutes the storage space of the packages generated by CI. Yes, it is. The CI, as I have told you, of course, we don't need to, so this feedback is also there. But as I have told you before, at the end of the CI, it will generate an artifact. So that artifact should be pushed into the package manager. So this constitutes the storage. The package manager constitutes the storage space of the packages generated by continuous integration and recovered by continuous delivery. So these managers, the package managers, must support feeds, versioning, and different types of packages. So there are several on the market, such as Nexus, ProGet, Artifactory, and Azure Artifacts. So I like Nexus. I use Nexus, and we will be using Nexus in this course only. So then we have one more tool that's called Configuration Manager. So this allows you to manage configuration changes during CD. So most continuous delivery tools include a configuration mechanism with a system of variables. So in CD, the deployment of application in each staging environment is triggered as follows. So there are two options to get triggered. So one, it can be triggered automatically following a successful execution on previous environment. For example, we can imagine a case where the deployment in the production, or sorry, pre-production environment is automatically triggered when the integration tests have been successfully performed in a dedicated environment. It can be triggered manually for sensitive environments such as the production environments. So for production environment, obviously it's a manually triggered one. So following a manual approval, by a person responsible for validating the proper functioning of the application in an environment. So, what is important in a CD continuous delivery process is that deployment to the production environment, that is to the end user, is triggered manually by a producer. So this diagram that or this infographic which is on the screen clearly shows that CD process is a continuation of the CI process. It represents the chain of CD steps which are automatic for staging environments. Once staging environment is done, then after that you will go for acceptance tests through by many of the user acceptance tests. Then we will have a manual. Then after the staging environment, a manual approval for production level deployment. So it also shows that the package is generated by CI, continuous integration, and is stored in a package manager, and that is the same package that is deployed in the different environment.